Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
For the second time in a week, the Wall Street Journal has dropped a bombshell report linking President Trump to Jeffrey Epstein, this time claiming Attorney General Pam Bondi gave the president a serious heads-up. His name is in the sealed files on the disgraced financier. This new allegation follows a previous Journal report about a lewd birthday letter allegedly sent from Trump to Epstein. The latest report comes as never-before-seen footage of Trump and Epstein has also just been released. Now, the White House immediately called the Wall Street Journal report fake news, and Trump himself has denied it. But here's the crucial context the report itself makes clear. Just because a name is in the files doesn't automatically mean there was any wrongdoing. Still, the allegation, combined with the new video, has created a political firestorm. It pits a major newspaper against a flat-out denial from the White House, and is raising new questions about a controversy the administration just can't seem to shake.
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment right.
So, what's really going on here? According to the Wall Street Journal, in a May meeting, the Attorney General told the president his name appeared multiple times in the Epstein records. Trump's response when asked about it by a reporter? No. This direct conflict is at the heart of the story. But it's playing out against a backdrop of growing public frustration over what many see as a lack of transparency.
Did she tell you at all that your name appeared in the file?
No, she's given us just a very quick briefing.
For months, there's been intense public pressure, fueled in part by the administration itself, for the release of an Epstein client list. At one point, Attorney General Bondi even told Fox News that such a document was sitting on my desk right now to review, a comment that sent expectations soaring. But then, the Justice Department reversed course. On July 7th, the DOJ announced that no such comprehensive client list actually exists. Officials clarified that Bondi's earlier comment was referring to the entire case file, not a specific list of names. Instead of clearing the air, that announcement just threw more fuel on the fire. For many, including some of Trump's own supporters, it felt like a bait and switch, sparking significant backlash and deepening distrust. As this controversy has grown, President Trump has consistently tried to downplay the entire Epstein saga. He's called the public's fascination with it a hoax and a scam, cooked up by Democrats. He's described the case as sordid but boring, and suggested that only the fake news wants to keep the story alive. When reporters ask him about Epstein, he often deflects. His recent attempts at distraction have been particularly blatant and have largely backfired. First, he suddenly announced that Coca-Cola would be switching back to real cane sugar, a claim the company itself wouldn't initially confirm. He even went ahead to post an AI-generated video showing federal agents arresting Barack Obama in the White House. The deepfake was widely criticized as misleading and inflammatory. Then, the administration abruptly released hundreds of thousands of pages of old FBI files related to Martin Luther King Jr., a move seen by many critics as a desperate attempt to change the subject. That move drew a sharp rebuke from MLK's daughter, Bernice King, who posted online, "Now do the Epstein files." The strategy seems to be a mix of denial, dismissal, and distraction that has so far failed to shift the conversation. Adding another layer to the public drama is Elon Musk, who has been publicly feuding with the administration. In a now-deleted post on X from June, Musk claimed, "At real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public." Following the first Wall Street Journal report about the alleged birthday letter, Musk seemed to defend Trump, posting that the letter sounds bogus and that it really doesn't sound like something Trump would say. However, after the second report about the Bondi briefing, Musk's earlier claims have resurfaced and gained new attention, adding a high-profile, unpredictable voice to the calls for transparency. This story is developing fast, and it's getting harder to separate the facts from the political spin. If you appreciate this kind of straightforward analysis, take a second to subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you don't miss what happens next. So here's where we stand. A major news organization has now twice published reports linking the president to the Epstein case. The latest claims he was privately warned his name was in the files. The president and the White House have categorically denied it. This is all happening while the administration grapples with the fallout from its own shifting narrative on the existence of a client list. The administration's attempts to control the narrative have so far only led to more questions. The core issue has become one of transparency versus deflection. And with the public, prominent figures like Elon Musk, and even members of his own party demanding answers, the question remains, will the denials be enough? Or will the pressure for the full story become impossible to ignore?